Hello, everyone. This is Stacy Wallace, and we are live right now with the ELN Marketing Hangout. I am here joined today by an incredible group of folks that are also, we're working right now to get Juan Williams online. Laura Wells is working with him right now. And I've also got Tony Bowie, social networker. These folks today are going to be talking about some very important information as well as marketing tips that are going to help you build your Solavei business. My name is Stacy Wallace. I'm a social executive with Solavei, and very honored to be able to be working with the likes of all of these leaders who are the best of the best, those that are not just talking the talk, they're walking the walk, they're making it happen, they're on the leaderboards, they're pulling rank, they're doing great things within Solavei. And it's what I love about these marketing hangouts. You can always rest assured that the people on these hangouts are not only good speakers, people that are good communicators, but more importantly is they are ordinary people who are having extraordinary results within Solavei. And so to get things kicked off while Laura is working there, you guys know Laura Wells. She is always co-hosting these with me. I love her dearly, amazing leader, very close to being social connector. Who calls me at this time? Oh, it's me calling myself. Do y'all see that? Who does that? I accidentally pushed that button. Anyhow, Laura is doing a great job, real close to be social connector. She's a social networker right now, and she's going to be joining us here in just a second. But what I want to do is bring on Tony Bowie. Tony and Thomas Malone out in Arizona have been a huge part. Before we bring on Tony, let me just show you guys what we're doing this weekend. Social Commerce University. It is going to be crazy cool out in Phoenix, and we want you to be there. Now you can register online by just going to empoweredliving.biz/university. Let me just pull this up here, and you guys can see there how awesome this is going to be. You can go right over there, even empoweredliving.biz, click on university. You're going to come to this page right here, and check this out. You're going to go straight down right there, the little buy now, $10 a ticket, and you are going to get an entire buffet of deep meat training. Now, we're creating the universities around the United States in order to go past the conversations that you've probably heard generally on webinars and through Solavei, maybe through emails. And we want to dig deep so that you can see what these top leaders are doing in order to build massive networks. And so go in there. You're also going to get a manual, and you're going to get a cool social commerce bracelet. And go in there, and you can see it's going to start at 9 a.m. this Saturday. It's going to be at the Phoenix Ridgeline Academy, thanks to Tony Bowie, who is putting that on. Bam Bam group out there is going to be doing a great job of hosting that out there. I'm going to be there. Laura Wells, Jeremy Wells. We're going to have Michael Anthony Gowans is also going to be there. Great speaker, pastor out there. And you can go right here if you'll see this. Click on the event flyer, and it's actually going to pull up for you a PDF of the flyer so you can be handing it out. You can see who those speakers are. It's going to give you all the details on that flyer if it ever pulls up, and be able to show you what you're going to learn, and it's going to actually print out better than that. That's just the way it looks in my browser. But go in there, print out some of those, hand them out to your team, and then, of course, make a point to be there this weekend. So, Tony, let me bounce over to you. Tell us, why do we want to be in Phoenix this weekend? Of course, next weekend we're going to be in San Diego. Been watching this morning, people registering, those names popping in. That is not me, because I'm not even holding my phone. But tell us, Tony, that's what they're going to get. They're just going to get click, click. Tell us why people want to be there this weekend or next weekend in San Diego.
You know, one of the things that that I'm really excited about is to see other leaders and to see the people that are really looking to take this to the next level. It's not about, you know, rah-rah. It's not about that. This is going to be real meat and potatoes and the things that we do on a daily basis to put people in the funnel to eventually have them come out and be part of Solavei, saving on their mobile service, and then in the future going into the marketplace. So if you are anywhere close to Phoenix or to San Diego, you really need to one, go get your ticket ASAP, and then two, bring somebody with you. You know, don't just come by yourself. It is key that you don't try to take all the information in yourself and try to disseminate it. Because there's always something lost in translation. If you can get your people, your friends, your family, the people in your network, and they may not even be in Solavei yet, you want them to get there to see what it is up close from people that are really performing and producing. So please be there. We're asking everyone that is looking to not just save on their mobile service, but really change their life by starting by saving them on their mobile service. It's huge. So be there. We're looking for you, and we'll congratulate you for being there and give you a big old hug when you walk through the door.
Yeah, and that's a good point. This is actually going to be a conversation that is, we're going to go beyond the conversation of get in, get social, get free, and we're going to show you how to move to freedom. We want to show you how, you know, I'm going to show you personally how I scaled the compensation plan in 4 months, how the mentality you have to have in order to do that, and some of the little pieces of execution that you've got to have in place in order to have that kind of rapid duplication. A lot of you are good enrollers, but you haven't figured out how to duplicate, and it's a constant, there's strategy in everything that you do. You got to always be looking at your network. We're going to talk about something called the boogie for woogie, which leads you into a 120 mentality. You're going to hear what that is, because it really, I personally believe, it's going to be those people that are going to reap the greatest benefits out of Solavei. Now, many of you know that Solavei right now is talking about, and it's laid on the line right now, that people who rank social connector or above are going to be able to be a part of an advisory committee to get stock options in the company. You know, what you can make on a monthly basis out of Solavei or any kind of direct sales deal or any kind of business or affiliate marketing systems, that's just income. But you want to move beyond a mentality of income into a mentality of wealth, where you actually have ownership in corporations. So anyone that is involved in stocks, they'll tell you, pick the right companies and then find a way where you can get a piece of the pie. When you guys hear me say a piece of the pie, that's what I'm meaning. I'm not just saying a piece of the pie meaning getting $20 a month off your cell phone bill or even getting free mobile service. I'm talking to have been a part and to have a piece of the Microsoft pie today, having been an employee back in the beginning or been a part of that company back in the beginning. That is worth a lot of money. In fact, for some people, it's wealth. You know, you see these people up here in Bellevue driving around in their Bugattis or Lamborghinis, Maseratis, Aston Martins, and you stop them and you're like, what do you do? And they're like, oh, I was just part of Microsoft in the early days. It's like, cool. I mean, that is awesome. What's even bigger about that is when you look at the webinars, especially the one that Ryan just did nationally, when he talks about our growth rate as compared to Amazon. How many of you would like to have a little piece of Amazon? We have outpaced the growth rate of Amazon in our first year. Not just, you know, Amazon, you know, it took them a while to even get to $15 million in profits. And in 1 year, less than a year, actually 9 months, we were already giving back to our members $12 million. So we want you to see that big picture. Coming to Solavei Social Commerce University, we're going to be able to give you some of that and take that deeper dive. Now, Tony, you are going to be opening it up, kicking it off like no one else but you can, the what is Solavei. You're going to be sharing, so anybody that's got guests that are coming, he made a really good point. Don't just come alone, bring people with you. I guarantee you, in fact, just contact somebody who's been at one of these other events, one of the other social commerce universities, and ask them, did you wish you brought more people? And they all say yes. The meat that we're giving, you will come, and if you haven't brought all of your team, you're going to go, wow, why did I not bring my whole team with me? So do what Ricardo Gloria and these guys do. Get a van, get a Hummer, do whatever. Pack in as many people as you can and drive, even if it's a few hundred miles, make a trip out of it. Make it a team building trip. Make it fun. You've still got time. empoweredliving.biz/university. Get registered and get there. Okay, Tony, tell us, you are doing some incredible things in your network, BAM Fam, and I want to know, give us a couple of tips that folks can walk away from today that you feel are just going to elevate their effectiveness, and maybe a final teaser for what they're going to get this weekend.
So for those of you that don't know out there, it didn't just start all of a sudden. It was a slow progression, day after day after day, in creating what we've done in the BAMFAM group. When the Dallas Regional came out, me and Thomas Malone and Joshua Glick, two of my personal sponsors, we all drove 12 hours or 13 hours, however that was, in the middle of the night to get there. And guess who are my two top personal enrollees as far as production? Those two. So it just goes to show you that events do matter. They build a level of belief that you're not going to get otherwise. But in Phoenix, what we've done is we've started the BAM Fam group, and BAM means be a miracle, and FAM means family. We wanted to create an atmosphere and a culture of people really helping each other, people really feeling like a family. And we always say the second that you enroll, it's no longer about you. It's about the next person that you can find to go help save on their monthly cell bill. Whether they're looking to get rid of it, lower it, get rid of it, make $1,000 a month, or get rid of their job, it doesn't matter. But they have to start by, switching their mobile service. One of the little things that we've done is way back when Solavei really started pushing the socials. Ryan was coming off every day and doing a social. And so we saw the momentum, so we said, okay, well, let's start doing a little bit more of that. And the people that we have in our organization that are doing socials, that are inviting people to their house, that are doing that, those are the ones that are enrolling other people. They are enrolling people on the spot. We do it in homes, and we do it in restaurants. And in homes, we show the videos, but when we're in a restaurant, we don't show videos. All the social proof is sitting around the table.
Yeah.
There's no need to show a video because they're coming, they're getting some chips and sauce, or they're having a beer or whatever, and we're just talking. The person that brings them, they introduce them to everyone else, and they start talking about, who's your service provider, how much you're paying, and then here go the stories. They'll point down to Charles Lee or his wife Renee or myself or Tracy and Kelvin Good or Thomas Malone, who are all thousandaires making $1,000 a month because simply we made the decision to change our cell phone service and start saving. And I can't tell you, we are signing up at least somebody on the spot in our socials and restaurants, hands down. So it's getting people together. It's getting in an environment where people feel comfortable. And once they see the other social proof, there's no reason why they wouldn't do it. Even if they do have a contract fee, they're still doing it.
That's awesome. Well, one of the things that, and I love all of the, we got Margarita Paradise, we got you guys out there, is these are incredible networking opportunities that we've got all over the internet. It doesn't matter where you're at right now. In fact, if you're somewhere and you're like, wow, how do I get plugged in? One of the reasons why you want to be at these events is we actually show you how to use mysolavei.com to drill into your city to find out who's in my area. Or maybe you're traveling and you're going to Spokane, Washington. You want to know, hey, is there anything going on Tuesday night in Spokane, Washington? Well, we're going to show you how to use those tools. These are conversations on how to dig deep into the multi-million dollars of tools that have been given. More tools, more technology than any other sales company out there, direct sales company. Never, ever in the history of the direct sales industry have there ever been these kind of incredible social tools and organizational tools for you to be able to use. So we want to show you how to use them. They're sitting there, and a lot of people have never figured out how to use them to build your business. We're going to do that. Let me jump over. Laura, thank you so much for working on getting Juan there. We're going to jump over to Juan in just a minute. But Laura, I know you're going to be there this weekend, of course. We're excited. You look gorgeous today, by the way. Tony, you look so handsome. I got to make sure I equally share those props. But Laura, you are going to be sharing some actually new information that folks haven't even gotten. We're going to be tweaking up even the presentation that you've been doing, and there's some things that we've noticed in city after city after city of doing these universities is we are constantly refining, constantly tweaking to make sure that people are getting the absolute most important information to grow their networks. Why should they be there this weekend or next weekend in San Diego?
I honestly think that, I mean, I say this every time, so I'm not biased, but I honestly think that Phoenix and San Diego are going to be probably even better than the ones that we've done so far. I mean, it's gotten better every single time we do it, and it's because we're refining it, like you said, but, you know, and we're taking all of the feedback from the hundreds and hundreds of people that have been attending, what they love the most, what they could have done without, because the whole purpose of Social Commerce University is it's not fluff. This is not stuff even that we've trained on. Most of this stuff is stuff that we haven't even trained on the Thursday advanced training webinars. It's even deeper of a dive than that. So we're getting feedback from people that are like, I kind of heard that over and over on the Hangout, or I heard that part, on the advanced training webinars. And so we're taking some of that stuff out. Like on my segment, I know that I'm taking some of that stuff out that people hear from me over and over and over, or hear from these webinars that we're doing, and I'm replacing it with meat that I kind of mentioned a little bit in the other social commerce universities, but I kind of smoothed over. Now I'm going to hammer it home, because that's the stuff that people are looking for. Like, for example, I'm going to tell you exactly what to post on Facebook, and then when people reply to it, I'm going to tell you exactly what to say to comment back to them and what not to say, how you can totally blow it on your very first sentence. And so that's the kind of stuff that you're going to see at Social Commerce University. It is the nuggets that you need to know that what's working. All these guys, these are the ones that are actually putting in the numbers. If you go to the leaderboards, these are the ones that you see on the leaderboards, and they're going to actually tell you word for word what they're saying, how they're responding, and what they're doing to make it work. So, oh my gosh, Phoenix and San Diego, I seriously can't wait. Not only is this is our actual family vacation. Social Commerce University is our family vacation for the month of August. But I'm just excited, because this is the stuff that members out there really need to know. No matter what network you're in, you have to know this stuff. So it's going to be awesome.
Well, and Laura, too, I love that, I don't love this, but let me just say, these are the last two universities that we're doing till after our September 21 launch, all-in bash out here in Seattle. So I know some of you have been asking and requesting for it to come to your area, and how can you get it to come to your area? Well, first off, you've got to make the request, and you've got to have a team of people that are ready to put a couple of hundred people or more into a room, and then you've got to be willing to spearhead it, or have somebody in your area. If you're like, man, we really, really need this in Boise, Idaho, well, then get a social thousandaire or above who is willing to spearhead it with you, who's willing to put together finding the location and all that, and then reach out to me and say, we want the Solavei University in our city, and we are primed and ready for it to land. So we're not stopping on them, but these are the last two till after. We want to put all of our emphasis then on those all-in bashes all over the United States, and we don't want to compete with that, because those are going to be really important for you to be hosting in your own areas. I've seen the orders for people are going to be making George cookies, and I've seen some really fun, y'all probably saw the pixie sticks and the straws and things that are orange and purple, and people are really going to be, they've got little hats people are ordering to make sure that they're all in bash. And these are just folks who've just gotten, some of them just gotten started, and they got their, their Solavei service free. They got their 9 trios, they're getting an all-in bash, and they're going to host a really fun party in their house. Maybe bring over, 4 or 5 or 10 people, but they're going to do it up right. And so we just encourage you. We're going to be putting our emphasis on the all-in bash. I know that we're going to all be in Seattle, So we're going to want to make sure we put our efforts there. We're not going to compete with that. So after that, we'll talk about some other universities. So if you're wanting all this information to really head into the fall quarter and really have the meat training of what these folks are doing, then I would encourage you, do whatever you got to do to get to San Diego or Phoenix, because they're going to be hot, 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 and not just in heat. So let me jump over. I know that we're going to come back to this in just a second. Let me just do this real quick before we go to Juan. It is Tony. Let me just ask you, now we've got Thomas Malone is also going to be one of our speakers. And one of the things that I do in each city is I ask the speakers to send me their picture, their bio, and, you know, I get to know you guys in the Solavei world as social networkers or because of your BAM fam, but it's really cool when I get to see your history. You know, of course, you know I'm always bragging on you about having played for the NFL, but I know that that's not your greatest claim to fame. Your greatest claim to fame is you being a man of God and your family and changing the lives of others and really investing in others. Well, when I read Thomas Malone's bio, I was like, well, hello, Thomas Malone. And then when I heard him last night on the rally call for the city takeovers, I was like, okay, the guy's got skills. So let's brag on Thomas just a minute so people can see the kind of meaty keynote speakers that we're having at these, and they're right here, they dwell among us. Tell us a little bit about Thomas and what we can expect from him.
So Thomas is, like you said, he's a man of God. He is married to a beautiful wife, Beth, and they have a couple sons. And Thomas is an IT professional. He works for a large organization, and he is an IT engineer. He's actively involved in his church, and he supports nonprofits left and right. So he and I have a lot in common, which is why we've really spearheaded and believed in creating the BAMFAM group together and being a miracle. But Tom is all about helping other people. He is obviously passionate about giving his experiences to show other people how he's been successful in his ventures before. So, you know, with myself and you and Laura and Jeremy and Michael, there are going to be a lot of information and a lot of good experiences that we'll share in order to help other people get to where their self-selected goal is. Like I said, whether you want to just become a thousandaire or whether you want to get rid of your job for the rest of your life and create wealth, not income, it's going to be a great opportunity to be there and to have these experiences that we've had shown to you on how we've done it.
Okay, so let me just give you guys, part of the manual that you guys are going to receive is going to be after every single speaker, we're going to do this thing called Golden Nuggets, where you're going to reach in and each speaker, you're going to hear what other people in the room got out of that speaker. Because sometimes you can be listening and writing and you miss a point and you're like, oh man, that was a good one. And we're going to really encourage you to be documenting what you hear because there are going to be golden nuggets all day long. So let me just read you here what it says about Thomas Malone. He's worked in corporate America for over 18 years in the technical field and is well-versed and highly skilled in network support and engineering. In 2008, he decided to follow his entrepreneurial spirit and obtain certification from Apple Incorporated to entrepreneurial and open his own successful support and consulting business, which continues to service a huge number of businesses and personal clients, all centered around Apple's technologies. In 2012, that is when he and Tony co-founded the BAMFAM group, and you guys heard the purpose, to positively impact people's lives, to be a miracle in people's lives. What's been really cool is he sees himself as a mobilepreneur, but more importantly, he's been able to do great things in addition to what he does full-time running this crazy conglomerate of business. The guy is crazy stealth and cool when it comes to graphic development. Now, I'm going to be tapping into his skills. I'm buttering up. I'm getting to know him. He's becoming my friend because he really, really has so much to offer all of us in Solavei, and I can't wait to hear from him as well. Now, we have over here, sitting in the corner, Juan Williams. Hey, brother, how you doing? Can you hear me? You're muted. Let's get you on. I can't hear you. See if you can unmute you at your end. I can't hear you.
All right, can you hear me now?
I hear you now. There you go. Juan, so this Thursday, we are, for those of you who don't know, Juan is a very successful businessman. He is somebody that I love through Solavei. He's a social thousandaire, scaling the compensation plan, doing incredible things, he and his wife. But more importantly, when I was at the Social Commerce University in Dallas, this is another reason why you want to be at these events, is I met Juan and got to connect with him on more of a personal level in a back room where I got to hear his passion and his drive for why he's doing Solavei. And he is phenomenal when it comes to advising. Now, we're not going to be providing tax advice on Thursday, tomorrow night, but that's what he does, is he helps people create generational wealth by knowing what to do with the little things that you have in life, like an extra $50. What if you were able to take that $50 and you were able to do something good with it? What if you were able to snowball your debt instead of just taking that $50 and going and getting another manicure? What if we could take the little that you're already making in Solavei, or maybe you're not making anything at all, and you're wanting to know, how can I take advantage of the tax benefits of being a business owner? Well, tomorrow night, we are going to have a presentation put together, a PowerPoint presentation. It's going to be a webinar, so you're going to want to go to empoweredliving.biz/events and just register right there for the webinar tomorrow night, and you are going to want to watch what Juan and I discuss tomorrow evening on how you can really, even before you get your first trio, this is a blessing to you. Just being a business owner and operating out of your home, or using your car, or having lunches. We're going to show you how all of those things can benefit you. So Juan, tell us, why do they want to be a part of tomorrow night's webinar? Can you hear me, Juan?
Okay, it was good to see all you guys in. Can you hear me? Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
You can hear me? Okay, good. I just want to thank you for making me part of this call, and I hope that what I have to contribute is going to be beneficial to everyone. I've been in the tax business for about 12 years now, and it's not just your average, everyday, go to H&R Block, Jackson Hewitt type tax company. I do this year-round, and I do it to motivate, to encourage, to lift people up and show them how they can change their financial outlook in life. And let me give you a little idea of why I think this is such a perfect fit for Solavei. Number one, people who join Solavei are going to all be in some sort of a job where they're getting a W-2 income or even a 1099 income. But for the most part, most of them are using their cell phone, they are talking every day, and they're spending serious money. I see that, you know, the average person making $45,000, $50,000 a year, and most of them, in fact, making under $35,000. They have no way of understanding anything about finances. As a matter of fact, they're not doing anything about their finances. So when I speak to someone and I get them involved in Solavei, the first thing I want them to understand is this. You need to know what tax benefits you'll be getting by joining Solavei. Now let's talk about it. The IRS in 2005, they put out a letter calling it Big Refund, Big Tax Bill. And this is what it basically said. It said that some refund facts. Federal tax refunds to individuals total more than $215 billion a year. And more than 101 million taxpayers got refunds. That's 80% of the people getting refunds. The people live for their refunds. In the next 4 months, we will see a whole slew of people just flocking into H&R Block, Jackson Hewitt, and other tax people to get that W-2 in there so that they can go file their return. But the average refund is about $2,100. Now, what that means is that the average person is paying $40 a week too much in taxes, and just trying to get all that money back to just spend it on debt, you know, the Christmas bills and all those things that add up. And then next year they get their tax refund, they run in, they go get a car, they're spending it on debt. So how can we solve that problem in Solavei? Well, the problem is when they fill out the W-4 form. Most folks fill out a W-4 form and it asks them for the allowances that they claim on their taxes. Well, they think that's dependents, but it's really allowances. So if they put down 0 allowances, IRS is taking most of their money out of their paycheck up front. And then at the end of the year, they get a small refund depending on if they have children or if they have a business and all these different things. Well, what we show them is this. If you make $40,000 a year and you have 2 kids, the IRS says your taxes is 0, period. So you don't need to give the IRS any money during the year. And then you'll get an earned income credit for your child at the end of the year, and the earned income credit for 3 children is up to $6,000. So the average person...
Okay, stop. I'm not going to let you say any more.
Okay.
I'm preempting this message. You have got to be on tomorrow night. Don't give them all the
I'm
sauce,
there.
brother. Let's leave it at $6,000.
It's unbelievable.
So tomorrow night, we are going to, and not only that, we're going to have visuals. We're going to actually have a PowerPoint presentation that we're going to run through so you get it, you see it, you feel it, and then Juan, what you and I over the course of the next 36 hours, or let's say 27 hours need to do, is we need to make sure that the takeaway at the end of this, because there's a lot of people like me that, I mean, I start hearing smart people like you talk, and I glaze over. And I'm like, just give me the final bullet point. What do I need to do right now? And so I want us to have at the end of that webinar a checklist that we give them that they can screenshot that checklist and go, that's what I got to do in order to get the most out of my money and out of my time. Good googly moogly. We're talking $49 a month for cell phone. If you just did it and became a social member just for the tax benefits, forget the fact that you're getting 4 gig unlimited talk, text, and data on a 4G network. Forget it about that. If it's just for what we're going to share with you tomorrow night, it's important and it's worth it. So clearly, Juan is going to be bringing the info. Juan, I'm going to let you have a couple of more minutes. Don't tell them any more secrets. Why do they want to be there? Talk to me about generational wealth. Talk to me about how important it is to be strategic. Let me just say this. I'm going to walk you guys over to something real quick. Okay, I want y'all to see this. So this is over here in my area where I look out over Lake Washington. This is where I work when I'm sitting. Let me see if I can get that all in there. Okay, I want y'all to see this. Okay, so that right there, 3 o'clock in the morning 2 nights ago, I woke up and just felt this word, intention, strategy, these words just going through my spirit. And my thought was, I just kept thinking that right now my kids are in a season of their life where, you know, my son's 13, my daughter's getting ready to turn 12, they're at church camp right now, and we're getting ready to head into a new school year. And I'm making some very strategic decisions that will affect them in 5, 10, 15, 20 years. So one of the things I did with my son and my daughter is I sat down and I explained to them what accrued interest is. I explained to them what geometric progression looks like. And I told them over the course of these younger years, you're going to make money. You know, most of you guys know that my son is an entrepreneur. He's really big on Craigslist and eBay. He makes these little bracelets. In fact, he's coming out. He'll be selling the T-shirts out there at the university. And I'm constantly using him to teach other parents how simple it is to involve your kids in Solavei, to teach them practical entrepreneurial methods. Entrepreneurialism is going to be so important in the next 10, 20 years for kids to know this, to have it ingrained in them. But I talked to them about how important it would be for him to begin today, and we started this at the age of 10, putting $200 a month, even $100 a month, and putting it away into a savings account. I said, you know, you're probably going to make that. You're going to have your birthdays, you're going to have parties, you're going to have celebrations, you're going to have Christmas, and you're going to either go, oh, Christmas money, I'm going to go buy some more Nerf guns, or let me show you what that money would do for you if you could commit right now to having a strategic long-term mentality of $200 a month, every single month going in. And I showed him how that will become millions and millions of dollars, and it will equal complete freedom no matter what he does. Even if he decides to create those origami, whatever papers are, he could have wealth beyond what he does, simply because of the strategy he implements young on. So that thing over there was the other day. I felt like I've let my kids get a little slack this summer. I've been slack on cleaning, you know, and little things getting in the cluttered corners, and my kids' room, you know, shirts were stuffed underneath the bed, and it was just, you know, it just, to me, it wasn't excellence. And I woke up and I thought, you know what, right now, if we were in military academy, which I'm not real militant, I'm actually a real sanguine, free-loving mom, but I woke up going, you know what, my kids would get eaten alive in military academy right now, because I'm not raising the bar for them, and I'm not teaching them a level of excellence that will help them in business and in life. And so while they've been at camp, I have been cleaning out everything. This place is spotless. Their room is spotless. Their drawers are spotless, so that when they come home, I'm going to show them the standard of excellence I want them to live up to by choice, not because of, oh, we have to do this. I want them to see what this will do. So that little thing over there, if you saw it, it says feast, F-E-A-S-T, and focus, how important it is right now. I just watched yesterday Katie Couric do a whole TV show about how distracted people are, what ADD, ADHD, because no one's teaching them strategies like what Juan's going to teach tomorrow night about how you can be strategic with $50, and over a long-term period it becomes freedom for you. So focus, knowing that what are you focusing on? You know, right now, that in fact the Katie Couric show was talking about how video games and online marketing and the things that's happening online, the Farmville, all that, it's distracting people from the time that equals monetization for their family. And so focus is number one. E is excellence. What can you do? You know, my kids last week showed me, I bought them new flip-flops this summer, and the flip-flops, the bottoms are wearing out, and my son's like, oh, these are so comfortable, I love them, but they're starting to look tattered. And you know, I want him to know that when he goes into a business setting, that's okay to have and to play around with, but when you step into a business setting and you're going to be sharing things with other people of value and you want them to see it of value, make sure you're always presenting yourself with excellence. A was absolute certainty. Now, this is a big one that you guys can gain from even in your Solavei business. If you are talking to people about Solavei and you are not absolutely certain that it is a life-changing deal, it's not just SIM cards, then you're not going to be giving them the best presentation. If you're wondering, oh, I wonder if this company is going to be around in 3 years, and oh, I wonder if I can really do this, that's not absolute certainty. So the other day, my daughter, I apologize for going tangent on this, but I feel like it's so important for folks to get these little principles. My daughter the other day was asked, we were in a public setting, and she was asked, you know, what school do you go to? And instead of looking the person in the eye and answering them, she looked up at me and she goes, Bellevue Christian School? Yeah, Bellevue Christian School. And she was looking down. And I realized that is a sign of insecurity. And I want my children to be taught how to have absolute certainty. Do you know what school you go to? Yes. Then look that person in the eye and say Bellevue Christian Academy. You know, and think about it. You may not have been taught that. These are the principles, guys, that make the difference between a social executive or a social networker and a member. And a member who's going, I'm trying still to get my first trio. When you talk to Tony Bowie, you will sense absolute certainty. This is not a guy that questions his faith, questions his God, questions his company, questions his friends. He is absolutely certain that he was born for such a time as this, and he approaches life that way. So FEAS is strategic thinking. planning ahead, doing today. Guys, I moved into this. It's an absolutely beautiful apartment complex with my family. And don't get me wrong, it is gated and gorgeous and cool, and it's on the lake. So it's not like I'm like suffering for Jesus here. But we strategically moved into this out of a massive multi-million-dollar home so that I could have less overhead, less maintenance. I don't want to do the lawn. I don't want to oversee the lawn. I am in total focus mode. I'm strategically focusing on Solavei, and I want to be able to give my time to that. I also want my kids to be able to go out and swim and play in the lake and fish, and we've got tennis courts out here. We've got volleyball. It was a strategic move. It was huge. Moving my entire family. I did a huge estate sale so that we could simplify our lives into a 1,500 square foot apartment that would allow us to 100% give our focus and our effort. We're 2 miles from Solavei corporate. I did that strategically. You've got to be a strategic thinker. Roxana Hanna just talked to me. She said, Stacy, I've got like some odd days, and she says, if it would help for me to come and be up there near you in Seattle, I'm willing to do that for us to strategically work together. That's strategy. Like she had a plan to move to Austin, Texas, but she's thinking strategically on how can I maximize these moments right now. So F-E-A-S-T, and then total intention. To be intentional about everything you do. Don't kinda do anything. Be totally intentional about the time you spend with your family. Guys, if you're going on a date, plan the date. Take 5 minutes. Look up the restaurant you're going to. You get in the car. Don't do the, what do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do? That is lame, apathetic, passive thinking. Ladies, same for you. Have it planned that at the end of the night, have something planned. I don't know what you do for your husband, but whatever it is that you do for your husband, make it intentional. Make him feel like a king, and he will treat you like a queen. All of those things, this Thursday, tomorrow night, when you talk about taxes, when we take a very tactile, logical conversation, I want you guys to see how this is so important to the overall long-term perspective of your business development. Last thing I'm going to leave with you. Here's a strategic thought. Solavei has laid on the table stock options. For those of you who are thinking, I'm just going to build multiple thousandaire accounts, that is not strategic thinking. Let me just tell you why. You're thinking now. You're thinking of now money, but you're not thinking of long-term wealth. I assure you, there's no company on the planet that has ever left stock options on the table forever. You can't. It dilutes the options. So that is a short-term offering that every single one of you should be running to executive as fast as you can. I get it. Maybe you need $3,000 and you want to strategically position a couple of things. Great, but don't let it distract you from the bigger picture, which is get yourself to executive as quickly as possible. People have asked me, Stacy, you're trying to push 3 numbers to executive. Why aren't you just spreading it out front line and doing that? Because I am totally going after stock options, you guys. Totally going after what's laid on the table. I'm right now looking strategically what scholarship offerings. My son's only 13, but I've got a few years. He's going into 8th grade this year. Then I've got 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. If the government is going to lay free money on the table or corporations are going to lay free money on the table, I want to teach my kids how to go after that money. If it's laid there, don't walk by and just go, well, my son wasn't really smart enough to get a scholarship. So tell him to take up needlework. Tell them to take up tennis. Show them how there's money laid out there for them to create a financial future that other people may never be able to see and to get. Okay, wow, I just went on a huge bandwagon campaign there. I'm going to throw it over to Tony Bowie. I know that you are a huge, big strategic thinker. And close this session out with this. I apologize, you guys. I got on a total soapbox there. But clearly I'm passionate, and I want everyone to think up right now. I want everybody to think bigger than they've been thinking so they can see what this can do for their family and their family's family. Tony, give us a final takeaway.
You're absolutely right on strategic thinking. You have to have an end goal in mind, and then you back it up from there, and you say, what am I going to do on a daily basis that's going to get me to that strategic goal? And whatever it is for you, I can't tell you what it is for you, but I know what it is for me, and that's to create a legacy for me and my family that doesn't just change my children's lives, but changes the lives of everyone around me. So in order to do that, I have to be able to, at the right here, the right now, do things on a daily basis that can inch the football forward, so to speak, on a daily basis. That's talking to people every day. That's putting people in the funnel. That's creating, you know, an environment where people will duplicate, and then continue to do it myself, so they see that I'm not just a coach. I am a doer, not a thinker. You know, I'm always saying, you know, less talking, more doing. You know, so if I want to go back and reach that end goal, which is to leave a legacy, I've got to grab everything right now possible in order to do that. You know, I think you already know that I'm a cancer survivor. In 2008, I was diagnosed with cancer out of the blue, and went through chemo for pretty much the whole year. And my life got flipped upside down, and my thinking changed, my intentions changed, and I started looking at my two little girls at the time, and I said, you know what? If God gets me through this, we're going to do something completely different. It's not about me. We're going to do something that changes the people around us and creates a legacy that I didn't think I at the time had. So that's what Solavei gives me. I know my why. No one can dissuade me from getting it done. You know, if you have a contract, oh well, next person. Because I know eventually you will come back, Solavei will get big, and I want to be one of the people that helps propagate Solavei into every corner of the world. And I know by doing that, I need to start by talking to everyone I can get a hold of.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. Laura, give us a takeaway. I know that you're constantly planning and thinking and being strategic. Tell us what your takeaway is, some final nuggets.
Yeah, and it's you know, I mean, for us, I mean, I mentioned this before, but my husband and I both have full-time jobs. We both have full-time careers. So Solavei for us is technically part-time, although we're doing Solavei full-time. We're literally working 2 full-time jobs, and that sometimes requires sacrifice. It requires time. And so, you know, being intentional for us, we look at Solavei as it's not social connector pay, it's not social networker path pay. We're looking at this at, like you said, like the stock options. We're looking at this as generational wealth. This is money that I can leave to my kids and their kids and their kids' kids. This is long term for us. And so, you know, like when I mentioned that this is our family vacation to go on social commerce universities, this is not a bandwagon to be in the spotlight for any of us that are involved in this. This is our way of investing into this company. You can't put money into the company as an investor right now. But what you can do as a member, what you can do though, is you can invest your time to grow Solavei. It doesn't matter whose network they're in. It doesn't matter who they're sponsored by. This is our way of investing into the whole entire company, because as the tide rises, all ships rise. If Solavei grows into the millions and tens of millions, that's when we're going to fulfill our purpose as this company, what the actual vision of this company is. So when I think of that, I think of, you know, my kids are on the road with us. My kids are not going to Florida. Instead, they're going to Phoenix and San Diego. But they understand. They're actually seeing us work. They're teenagers. They're 16 and 14. They're seeing us put in the time and dedication. They see us working around the clock practically, but they also see the reward. They understand what we're going after. And I think of Ricardo, Gloria, who says, you hear him say all the time, and if you ever had the chance to hear him speak, I love that guy, and what he says is this is temporary. The investment that we're making right now, the hard work, the sweat, the tears, the frustration, this is temporary. And you look at Ricardo, and I have so much respect for him, because our styles of marketing, our styles of growing our network are radically different. 95% of the enrollments that I've had are online. through Facebook and social media. That's my space. Ricardo, he is belly to belly. He's hardly ever online except to promote what he's doing offline. And so we're radically different. But what I love about Ricardo is that he is out there every single day with Miguel and Perla and his team and all of Kansas City. He's rallying and in a temporary, focused intensity on the street, beating the pavement, knocking on doors, telling people about Solavei. That is the temporary, all-in, just go out there and do it and make it happen. He doesn't use, oh, I don't have SIM cards, or I don't have the money for T-shirts, or I don't know how to work the website. Forget all that stuff. If you know how to talk to people and say, how much are you paying for your cell phone bill, and I have a better way, that brings hope to people. And so his sacrifice is temporary, but it's a sacrifice, and that's what you have to be willing to do to get into the piece of the pie that's the long-term, the generational wealth. And so that's what I'm doing. I know, Stacey, that's what you're doing, Tony and Juan and Ricardo. All of these leaders that are out there fighting the fight for you, for your members, that's what we're all about. And Social Commerce University, that's where you learn how to make it happen. So I'm so excited.
That is awesome. I love it. Yeah, you are really, you know, you and I come from very similar backgrounds with regards to nonprofit, and I think of all of the, oh my goodness, hours upon hours, webinars and events and working with women and just giving. And that was just a part of what took up a lot of my efforts and time and focus. And I really see that you cannot outgive God, because what goes around comes around. And this is a season of harvest. This is a season where we're actually monetized for a lot of the things, and we're still doing the exact same things, giving and feeding out in nonprofits. But I love the fact that you see that, Laura. That's what impresses me so much about you, is that you, even the other night when we did a mastermind call, you were right there saying, would you like me to create a Facebook group for this? Would you like me to, again, giving. And I just know that you're a social networker now, but I see you as a social executive with this company. I see you being respected and honored for the brilliance that you bring. I love it. You're just an incredible lady. Juan, let's just give them one more quick. Do you think it's important to be strategic with your finances? Can you hear me, Juan?
He's got a delay.
I think it's more than. Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. The reason why I think it's so strategic, that you need to be strategic with your finances, is because, number one, we face some incredible obstacles when it comes to growing our wealth or even putting extra money in our pocket. You know, you got people with limited income, and inflation is just growing up every year. Then taxes are not going down. You know, people paying 30%, 40% of their income in taxes, which is just taking away everything that they can possibly build. Then you have debt. Now, it's incredible the amount of debt, whether it be student loan, car payments, just people borrowing money, borrowing for houses. So people have gotten into this mentality of it's okay to owe everything that we have, for everything that we have. So people are in debt. And then no one is giving people a cash flow or financial education. So most people are just out here at the whims of these financial institutions, just spending money, going to the bank, investing in stocks that they don't understand, doing things that they don't understand. And so with Solavei, what I saw was the opportunity to really get people and say, look, let's teach you what it takes to become financially successful. Number one is you got to be in business for yourself. You know, Solavei creates the perfect business where it doesn't cost you anything to get in. You just pay for what you've been doing anyway. And now the IRS says if you are operating with the intent to make a profit, whether you make a profit or not, then you get hundreds of deductions that you can write off that you do every day. So what my goal is to show people that not only is your cell phone going to be free, but so is your internet service, so is eating out, so is going traveling, doing everything that you normally would do becomes free. And use the money that you're making in Solavei to create generational wealth. You know, so you can leave an inheritance for your children. And so I think people need the cash flow instructions. They need to know how to keep records when they get in Solavei. I tell somebody when they come to my office, I says, how far did you drive to get here? And they said, well, it was about 30 miles. I said, well, it's 30 miles back. That's 60 miles, and the IRS is giving you 55 cents per mile. So you're looking at over $35 in deductions just for coming to my office to talk about Solavei. I said, now when you sign up, if you get a new phone, you can deduct that. All the $49 is deductible, and then pay your kids to pass out some flyers and deduct it for them. And now let's take that money and then strategically get out of debt so we can have more money for investments and other things. So when I look at strategic reasons for being in Solavei, it just makes sense that everyone that has a cell phone needs to be in this business, because now they can really take that $300 a month, $200 a month, make it, okay, here's my last thing. How do you take a $200 phone bill and turn it into a $400 income? Well, get into Solavei, because the IRS now, you can change your W-4 form, pick up an extra $200 a month in your paycheck, and never have to pay it back to the IRS legally. So that's where I see the passion in this, and I'm in this for the long haul because I feel like people are not going anywhere. People are losing jobs day and night, and this is a great alternative to create some income that will one day replace your job income.
I love it. I love it. Laura, as we close out, are you online right now on the feed?
I am.
Okay. Any questions that have come in on the feed that we need to answer before we go?
There hasn't been a whole lot of questions, but there have been a whole lot of demands. Serious, strong demands that Juan Williams, you better be on that Thursday webinar. These people are ready to hear what you say. They're like, they keep commenting like, no, let him speak, let him finish. No, you gotta be on this Thursday night webinar, because we're gonna mute Juan Williams. He can't talk anymore today, because everybody wants to hear what he has to say. Me too. I'm like on the edge of my seat going, I'm writing notes to make sure Jeremy is even on the webinar. He's even going to tune into this training webinar, because we have got to know what Juan says.
Yeah, and one of the reasons for that, I love it, again, strategy. I want you to get it with visuals, because it's important that you take notes. And so be on tomorrow night. Juan, thank you so much. Tony, as always, incredible. I love you, brother. You are just an amazing, amazing leader. Laura, you are brilliant, and you shine. That's all I can say is you shine. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow night. Again, remember, now is the time. This is the place. You are the one to start the revolution on behalf of all of the networks that play into the Empowered Living Network. My name is Stacey Wallace, and we are all believing the best for you. Have a great afternoon, everyone.